peace and love. Welcome back to Tunji Talks, the home of I have a first. I've got a cracking episode for you today. Let's just address the elephant in the room. The Tunji Talks studio has moved, so for now this is the new Tunji Talks space. Welcome to the new Tunji Talks studio. As you know, this is I Have a First. What is I Have a First? So this is where I have a drink and I chop it up with you guys. As always, if you have a drink you want to recommend, if there's a drink you want me to review and whatnot, let me know by putting that down in the comments. So today, just keeping it simple, just some green tea. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, green tea, bog standard. Nothing too exciting. Just straight up green tea, no sugar, no honey, none of that stuff. Just green tea. Let's start off with reading. So I talk about reading because, you know, there's been some teacher strikes recently, and it looks like there's going to be more teacher strikes in the near future. And there was a period of there were 2 days back to back of strikes, and before the students went off for those 2 days, every class I teach I always bang on about, you know, read. So I said to the classes, when you're off for these strike days, it's not a holiday, you know. Yes, work has been set for you in all your subjects, but guys, please read. And on this channel I've shared with you my reading philosophy, and it is this, that young people should be reading for 20 minutes a day, but reading for 40 is better than 20, and reading for 60 is better than 40. But ultimately, reading for 20 minutes a day is better than reading for 0 minutes at all. All of my students are familiar with that. I tell that when I see parents at Parents' Evening. I also go through my philosophy of reading as well. But yeah, and when I said, guys, please read over these next 2 strike days, what was their reaction? So I had to, you know, the reaction happened, and I let the laughing subside. Then I made sure the students understood that readers make leaders. Additionally, you're not reading for me, you're reading for yourself. So if you're in the UK and you've got a young person at home, you might want to share this with them, or aunties, uncles, parents, carers, you might want to share this with them as well. If you're in the UK, your child's going to take a GCSE at some point, and no matter what subject they take, the reading age for every paper is 16. And if your child goes into those GCSEs and their reading age is under 16, is that child giving themselves the best possible opportunity? Let me know down in the comments. Anyway, yeah, so there's this businessman named Patrick Bet-David, and I'm going to share a video. It's a short video. I'm going to share a video with you guys, and this is his philosophy of reading within his household. I find it quite interesting, so here it is.
The moment you turn 6 years old in the Bet-David family, you're required to read 20 pages every day. That includes Sundays, Christmas, holidays, it doesn't matter. My biggest complaint last week I had with the parent-teacher conference that we did with our kids, my oldest son, Patrick, he's 10 years old right now. I said, so what things can we work on with my son? And the teacher said, I have one challenge with your son, if you can help me out with this. I said, what's that? I can't get your son to stop reading. Amazing. And he doesn't pay attention to me. I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't help you with that. I'm not going to tell my kid to stop reading. Half the battle is getting your kids to read.
And we're back. So let me know what you think of Patrick Bet-David's reading philosophy. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Again, let me know down in the comments. Personally, I'm a fan. But yeah, let me know down in the comments. This program is sponsored by my book, Whiteboard, Black Pieces, Race in the West. What does it mean to be black in the Western world? To find out, click the Amazon link in the description down below. So one thing I've noticed recently is that some of my posts on social media, and even some of the videos, in fact, I've uploaded on YouTube, like a couple years after they've come out, people find them and they re-engage with the content, and that's like really exciting. That as long as you put out quality content that engages with an audience, content that an audience can resonate with, they will find you at some point. And this kind of links back to the Gary V video I did. I believe it was in the last episode of I Have a First, and where Gary V was talking about you just need to keep going with content that eventually, when the audience finds you, then you're off to the races. But it's just about not giving up. You just have to keep going. Ooh, this brings me to another point now that we're talking about content and social media. One of my teachers on social media, as it were, is this gentleman called Dorian at Group 82, and his YouTube channel is primarily music based, where he talks about music, and he's kind of diversified, talking about music and business, and more so just straight up business and generational wealth and whatnot. And one of his tips, one of his nuggets of advice was the following. So if you're someone who posts on social media, especially if you're a brand, that when you're posting on social media, people will leave comments on your video. Then he was saying it's actually disgusting if you as the brand do not respond to the comments. Why? Because that individual has taken time out to watch your video. That individual has then taken more time to leave a comment, hoping to engage with you. And if you then refuse to engage, that can come across as being rude. That person might be upset, like, I've left this comment, why is this individual not responding? Now, if you're someone who's getting like hundreds of comments on your video, then you may respond to the first 2 to 5 comments, but after that, it's sort of like a losing battle. But however, you need to make that initial point to engage with your audience. And that's something, well, I had always responded to comments. Maybe there were occasions where I didn't respond, but for the most part, I have always responded to comments that people leave in my videos. And I find, that then allows me to create a bond with my audience per se. And if you're someone who, as I say, is a brand, if you haven't been responding to comments, I encourage you to respond to comments, and just try it for a week or so and see how your engagement goes up. I'm sure you'll find your engagement with your channel or your social media page, it will go up. So just try that, and then once you try it, let me know down in the comments. And also, Dorian, he's got a great YouTube channel, so you might want to check him out as well. And tell him Tunji Talks sent you. Tell him Tunji Talks sent you. Dorian's a good egg. He's a really good egg. To support the show, there are 2 ways you can go about that: PayPal and Cash App. Cash App, # Tunji Talks, that's # Tunji Talks, that's # Tunji Talks. Or PayPal, paypal.me / Tunji Talks, that's paypal.me / Tunji Talks, that's paypal.me / Tunji Talks. It seems like podcasts, they've been popular, but over the last couple of years, 2-3 years, they're just like blown up on a whole nother level. So everyone's got a podcast now, and the worst type of podcasts, the worst type of guests on podcasts are chatty patties. Now, what is a chatty patty? A chatty patty is someone who exposes unnecessary information. So, for instance, I came across this video that was clipped from a podcast. So this guy came onto the podcast, and he was like, "Oh, when he was at uni, what he decided to do was to use, I think Fiverr. There's a website called Fiverr where people can rent out services and whatnot. So what he did was when he had to write an essay in uni, he went on Fiverr and he got someone to write his essay for him. As a result, he started getting, top marks. So he was effectively the top person in his class. However, after first year, he stopped attending lectures. So he might come to one lecture a term. Then he was saying on the podcast, like, people within his year group could not understand, like, you don't come to lectures. How are you top of the class? And his response was like, guys, it's just, what can I say? I'm just that good. Now, my thing is, he's come onto a podcast and he's now exposing this. If this guy had haters who held on to that, what they could do, they could go back to his university and be like, this student who was at your university between this year and this year, they were cheating. The university will say, well, how do you know? They'll send, if the hater is on it, they'll send the university that clip and his degree will get revoked. This is an individual, someone being chatty patty. You don't need to tell the whole world like what you were doing. Like, fair enough. That's just my thought. What are your thoughts on chatty patties? Fair, let's be frank. You're getting someone else to write your essay. That's just cheating. That is just cheating within the university system. That is cheating. There's recently, I think ChatGPT. Have you heard of ChatGPT? It's like an AI that you can type into it. Let's say you can go on ChatGPT and say, write a university-style essay in the style of Albert Einstein, and within a couple of seconds, it will turn out a university essay in the style of Albert Einstein. Of course, I need to give it like an essay question to be more specific, but you get the gist. You can do something like that. You can do make me a business plan for this sort of business, and ChatGPT will do it for you. That's a whole different kettle of fish. That I have seen dozens of videos of university students getting caught using ChatGPT. When you're in university, at least in the UK, there's this software called Turnitin, where you upload your essay to that. And initially, the software Turnitin wasn't able to recognize that an AI had written an individual's essay, but all these sort of softwares have been updated so they're able to identify if ChatGPT has been used to write an essay. So if you're using ChatGPT to write your essay, be warned, you will be caught. You will be caught. So again, if you've got someone in university, a young person in university, you may want to send this video to them. In fact, I'm gonna attach a video now. This is a university, someone in America, where the students got caught using ChatGPT, and this was the lecturer's response.
I've caught half of you using ChatGPT for the last essay. So guess what? Your final essay is now 50 pages.
It's crazy, right? So let me know your thoughts down below. Over the Christmas period, I released my first ebook. Well, the first book I released, Whiteboard Black Pieces, Race in the West. It was a book and an ebook, but over December, I released solely an ebook called We Keep It Moving, Follow Your Dreams, Volume 1, and that's available. I'll leave a link down below in the description. So what I've done is I've recorded an audio version of We Keep It Moving, Follow Your Dreams, Volume 1. And you know what? I'm going to play it for you guys. So here's a little snippet of We Keep It Moving, Follow Your Dreams, Volume 1. I often get asked, how do you do so much? I often reply, I'm not willing to be confined to a box. The truth is, we are all capable of doing more than we think. However, society has conditioned us to think within a limited bandwidth. You have to be able to free yourself from the conditioning if you want to achieve your full potential. Some of the greatest people in history did a lot. And we're back, so let me know your thoughts down below. And if you want to listen to the full audiobook, it is absolutely free and it is on this very channel. Just go to my videos and you'll see the book. Okay, I've got a new segment for you, and this segment is called Strange Things People Say on Public Transport. So here we go. This particular comment, I'm pretty sure these guys were drunk. These guys were drunk when on the train. Anyway, here it is. I want to open a restaurant that only serves mushrooms. What would you call it? Fung guys, as in like a fungus, but also it's a pun, playing words for the restaurant Five Guys. So I thought that was quite. Was it funny? It was charming. It was charming at best. What are your thoughts on this? Anyway, so that's the new segment, Strange Things People Say on Public Transport. I've got more, but I'm just going to leave it there for today. I talked about this before, that the UFC is going to come to Africa at some point. That has been confirmed. Then I made a prediction, oh, they're going to come to Nigeria, or they're going to go to Ghana, or they're going to go to South Africa. And lo and behold, Dana White confirmed they're going to go to Nigeria first. Right. So, Kamaru Usman, who is the former UFC welterweight champion at 170 pounds, he started his own mixed martial arts organization in Nigeria. And I talked about this before, that one of the reasons he's doing this is to lay the groundwork for the UFC to come in. And I've got a clip, so let's watch this clip and I'll break it down.
But for the former king, investments in the homeland have been ongoing.
You can't do what you love to do, which is stand and strike, if you can't take your seat like kids, if you can't defend us.
And Kamaru Usman's business ventures in Nigeria are well underway.
Doing what you do, the fans will love it.
The UFC has been talking for a long time about doing an event in Africa. One of the biggest things that I've heard is there's no infrastructure there for them to easily move in and do a show. So that's exactly what I've taken upon myself to do. Creating the groundwork to where they can look back and say, hey, there's already a show running there.
You know, we're slowly building, and we want to continue to build.
Myself and two of my partners, we've been setting up the infrastructure to have our own mixed martial arts organization in Nigeria called AKO, African Knockout. It just shows how big the sport of mixed martial arts is.
We've got bigger and better things coming in 2023.
And how thirsty they are for the opportunity.
Nicotine!
Each and every time I'm back in Nigeria, I discover something more wonderful about the place.
Nice. This is for you.
With the AKO show and with, some of the charity work and everything that I'm doing there, I'm falling in love again with that country. Like most countries all around the world, there's great parts and then there's not so great parts. But if we do our parts as humans, that's the best thing that we can do, is just give back a little bit.
As Kamaru Usman stated, his organization is called AKO, African Knockout. It looks really exciting. This is sort of like laying the foundation for the UFC to come. So if the UFC comes to Nigeria, well, when the UFC comes to Nigeria, Kamaru Usman's effectively laying down the groundwork. So I remember, I believe I've put this video up. In one of the press conferences, there was this reporter who was like, oh, but Nigeria doesn't have the infrastructure to hold a UFC event. So what Kamaru Usman is doing now, if the UFC doesn't have that infrastructure, Kamaru Usman has links to the government, and I'm sure he has links to entrepreneurs who really like a mixed martial arts organization in Nigeria. So I'm sure there might be a collaboration between Kamaru Usman, the UFC, and local business people to create a venue where that is dedicated to mixed martial arts. This is also setting the groundwork of finding talent in Nigeria. So again, if the UFC, when the UFC comes to Nigeria and they're looking for local talent to have on the card. Kamaru Usman can be like, oh, I've got these great talents, here they are, they can go on the UFC card. So this is all laying the groundwork, and I really like the fact that Kamaru Usman is also doing charity work as well. I believe there's a YouTube channel called Anatomy of the Fighter, which followed Kamaru Usman in Nigeria last year, and in that they spent a couple minutes going in depth on the charity work that Kamaru Usman is doing in Nigeria. So if you're interested in the charity work that Kamaru Usman is doing, feel free to check out that YouTube channel. It's really fascinating to see, but good on Kamaru Usman. What he's doing in Nigeria is helping set up his future. Of course, we saw Kamaru Usman in Black Panther 2, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So I'm sure we're going to see him in more movies and TV shows in the future. For me, I think Kamaru Usman has 2 to 3 more fights in the UFC. So I think Kamaru Usman diversifying his portfolio will only benefit him going forwards. Finally, the last segment of I Have a First for today. I recently released a song called JOLLOF King. That's been out. The reception has been great. It's been wonderful. Another song is also in the works that will come out shortly. JOLLOF King has been the reception has been great. People love it. I'll play it momentarily. However, let me take you behind the scenes, as it were. So if you go on any music streaming site and type in jollof rice or jollof, there are dozens of songs about jollof rice. However, there is only one song about someone being the Jollof King. So I have separated myself from the pack, and I'm sure as the weeks continue to roll by, more and more people will hear about JOLLOF King. And I'm going to play JOLLOF King in a second. Let me know your thoughts down below. Of course, you can stream JOLLOF King and Croydon Town on all streaming platforms, all Apple Music, Deezer, Spotify, Amazon Music. If you're in the States, America, iHeart, it's all there. If you want to purchase it outright, it's on iTunes as well. So JOLLOF King is on all streaming platforms. That is it for today. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'm going to play you out with JOLLOF King. I'll see you soon. Are you prepared for the most tantalizing jollof you have ever tasted? Oh yeah, let us eat jollof. Jollof, gotta get it in your system. I'ma change your life when you get it in your system. Jollof, gotta get it in your system. I'ma change your life when you get it in your system. Jollof, say what? Gotta get it in your system. I'ma change your life when you get it in your system. Relax, I can be your Jollof King. Ayy, 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 ayy. Sit back and let all the aromas in. Ayy, 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 ayy. My jollof is so enticing. I met her, a melanin matchmaker. We decided to meet up and chat. Go on. I was with a daughter of the diaspora. Say what? Once we started, there was no stopping us. Chat, ayy. She got me with her nectar brown eyes. Home, home is what I saw in those eyes. Relax, I can be a Jollof King. Ayy, 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 ayy. Sit back and let all the aromas in. Ayy, 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 ayy. Jollof is so enticing. It was decided we got a bottle of red. It sealed the deal. The convo was sweet, sweet like a gay bread. There was no stopping us. That's when she said, I like jollof. She said she likes jollof. I knew I had to treat her. Sending me rice, Father basmati, jasmine wild, white or brown. Father basmati, jasmine wild, white or brown. Father basmati, such a good choice. Jasmine wild, white. Relax, I can be a jollof king. Ay. Sit back and let all the aromas in. Ay. My jollof is so enticing. She made a choice. It's time for me to treat her. I gotta get my chefing on so that I can feed her. Percha, I put the palm oil in. Percha, I put the pep in. Percha, I put the bay leaves in. Percha, I put the Himalayan salt in. She said, Jollof King, your jollof is so banging. Ay, what a wonderful evening. I had to end it with an Uber, or possibly it's a bolting. Before she left, I whispered in her ear, a jollof king can only be a jollof king if he has a jollof queen. Be my jollof queen, ay. Sit back and let all the aromas in, ay. My jollof is so enticing. She said, I'ma be your jollof queen, ay. I decided to let all the aromas in, ay. Your jollof is so enticing, ay. Your jollof is so tantalizing. Hey,